Hey everyone, I'm John and thanks for joining me here in the Boneyard. Usually here, I focus on my favourite movies or classic cinema. But every now and then I see a movie that I really want to talk about. Now, the last film I talked about was the Led Zeppelin documentary that was a more modern movie, but that was just so terribly bad that I had to vent about the fact that so many critics were saying that it was a masterpiece. But this time, it's for a good reason I want to talk about a modern movie, and that is how much of a surprise I got when I watched Paul Thomas Anderson's latest mammoth movie, the almost 3-hour epic, One Battle After Another. Why I want to mention this movie is how missold it has been in the advertising for the film. Now, I saw it in a packed out movie house on a Monday night, which is worth mentioning in itself, as it's so unusual these days to see a movie in a sold out cinema. So first off, that was a great experience. And next is the fact that every review I had seen, read, or every trailer that I had seen on this movie sold it as a kind of gritty, violent action film when actually it is a pitch dark comedy.
Thank you, Sensei. Thank you, Sensei. Thank you. God damn it! Viva la revolution!
For the first 20 minutes, the cinema was silent. And there is a moment about 5 minutes into this movie where a revolutionary makes a stiff soldier named Sergeant Lockjaw, played with an almost slapstick sensibility by the great Sean Penn, literally get stiff at gunpoint. And I had to bite my lip to stop myself from laughing as he walked around with this bulge in his pants. But because no one else was laughing, I was thinking, am I missing the point here? And I couldn't help but think, am I the only person here who finds this absolutely hilarious? But once Leonardo DiCaprio's bumbling stoner revolutionary character came into full swing, I couldn't hold my laugh in any longer and I let rip. And then literally a second later, there was a giggle in the row behind me, and then another, and then another. And soon, I think, we all got the joke. And there were moments in this movie where the whole cinema was laughing together at Leo's great comedic performance.
You know, I don't remember that part. All right, let's just not nitpick over the passwords.
I think it's the best I've seen him do comedy since Don't Look Up. His physicality in this movie is fantastic, and everything about him, from his strange little run to his almost dude-like attire as he spends the movie clad in his dressing gown, is almost James Cagney or Charlie Chaplin-esque in its over-the-top performance, and I enjoyed every minute of Leo on screen. The movie is almost a bit of a retread of movies like Big Trouble in Little China or indeed The Big Lebowski, where we laugh at the characters because they think they are so cool and are clearly something totally different than what they think they are, and I love that kind of filmmaking when we are in on the joke. The same can be said of Sean Penn as Lockjaw. His performance, as with many performances in Anderson's movies such as Daniel Day-Lewis in There Will Be Blood, Joaquin Phoenix in Inherent Vice, or indeed Philip Seymour Hoffman in Punch Drunk Love, where they give these almost pantomime performances as they are so over the top. And as with DiCaprio, Penn is old school in his embodiment of his character to the point of absurdity, which is really, I think, the point of this movie. His character's beliefs, fallacies, and hypocritical point of view of the world is just so absurd. And that is the best word I can use to describe One Battle After Another. It's been sold as a gritty, dark thriller, but it's actually a very dark, absurdist comedy.
I need you, brother. Please, Sensei, please.
Courage, Bob. Courage.
That's it.
Yet there are moments of violence and gun injury detail, but these moments carry with them a matter-of-factness. Like Christopher McQuarrie's overlooked action comedy Way of the Gun, or older movies in a similar vein, where protagonists are in a violent situation, where they're in over the head, but they kind of take it all matter-of-factly, such as George Segal in the great movie Born to Win.
Harassment! Harassment! Police harassment! Oh!
These movies contain violent moments that are way harsh to eye, but also are very heightened in their direction. And in this movie, Anderson nails the cinematic line between extreme violence and comedy, which seems to me to make this extreme violence seem less harsh. For example, there is a moment that I think was influenced by West Side Story almost, where a group of skateboarders who helped the great Benicio Del Toro look after migrants when raids occur. And these teenagers help a flustered DiCaprio jump across rooftops in an almost magical musical style lit in silhouette by the blues and reds of the police lights. And then DiCaprio, in his slapstick role, misses a jump and falls for what seems like 4 stories and lands without hardly a scratch. It was as if he was channeling Buster Keaton in moments. And there are many ways in which his character should have died, but he just tucks and rolls out of these moments of violence. And for me, I never really feared for his safety, but I really warmed to the character, and that's what made DiCaprio's performance really, really cool.
You know what freedom is?
What?
No fear. Go!
Much in the same way they work together on Inherent Vice, Anderson, along with writer Thomas Pynchon, makes a mishmash of their influences and creates a very modern movie, but it's steeped in the history of cinema and the great kabuki-style theatre performances of the great physical actors like James Cagney, Buster Keaton, or Charlie Chaplin. And together, I think they create a modern, absurdist, pitch-dark comedy. Now, I'm not sure if it was that laughter in the cinema that was infectious in that packed-out showing on a Monday night. But what I experienced watching this film is a feeling that I thought was long since past. It was a feeling of community, and we were all enjoying the movie. And during that showing, One Battle After Another, I think we, the audience, gave each other permission to laugh at these violent moments driven by these comedic performances. And I couldn't help but think, was that the intention of the filmmakers all along? Did they market this film as a gritty thriller so we wouldn't know what to expect, and then strangely find ourselves laughing at Sean Penn soldier Lockjaw in a sex scene with his enemy, which is made to the sounds of the great 1962 Shirelles pop song, Soulja Boy? I don't know, but it was one heck of an experience, let me tell you. My one complaint about the whole movie was that we didn't get enough Benicio Del Toro, who is perfection in every scene that he graces in this movie. I think time will remember One Battle After Another as a good movie. Not a great one, but a good one, and that is good enough for me. And I think this is one that needs to be seen in the cinema to be fully experienced, because I don't think we're going to get the same effect of community that I got when watching this in the cinema. Thanks for listening to my take on Paul Anderson's One Battle After Another, a movie I had to talk about because it was totally not what I expected. I'd like to say a huge thanks to all Boneyard members and Patreon supporters. If you would like to hear more from me on classic movies, please remember to like, share and subscribe, and please consider supporting independent content creation here on the channel by becoming a member, dropping a like and a comment, or checking out the merch store. So please take care, everyone. And as always, thank you all so much for listening.
Courage. Yeah. Thank you. Hey, thank you, Sensei. Thank you, Sensei. Thank you. God damn it! Viva la revolution!